I'm Emily Reno, and I'm the owner and lead planner at Weddings and Events by Emily, a wedding planning and design company based out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I created this YouTube channel to answer all of your tough wedding-related questions. One of the biggest questions I get from couples is, what is a vendor meal, and is it something that we have to pay for? A vendor meal is a meal that is paid for by the wedding couple, and it is usually something that is provided to wedding professionals that are working over a certain amount of hours on the wedding day. These meals are typically provided to wedding vendors that are working over 4 to 5 hours. It's proper etiquette, and quite frankly, it's just a nice way to say thank you to the people who are working so hard to make sure your day is perfect. Many vendors have a hot meal clause in their contract, but just because it isn't in the contract doesn't necessarily mean that they shouldn't get one. Just remember that a fed vendor is a happy vendor. Most of the time, wedding professionals can't take time out of the day to take a lunch or dinner break. As a wedding planner, sometimes I work 16 plus hours on a wedding day and really appreciate when a bride and groom stop me at the reception and go, "Make sure you sit down and eat, Emily." Typical vendors that will need a meal are the wedding planning team, basically the lead planner and any assistants, the photographers, don't forget about the second shooters, videographers, DJ or band, and any bar staff that does not work for the venue. The wait staff that works for the reception venue are usually fed by their employer, so you're not really expected to provide vendor meals for them. You're also not expected to provide alcohol for any of the vendors, but coffee and a soda definitely go a long way. Okay, so how much do vendor meals cost? After you figure out exactly how many vendor meals you will need, you should contact your catering manager to have them add this to your contract. Vendor meals are typically about half the cost of what you're paying per wedding guest for dinner. Sometimes the vendors will get served the same entree as your guests, but a lot of times the chef will prepare something different that is easy to eat pretty quickly. The vendor meal should be consumed at an appropriate time, and usually this ends up being the same time that everyone else is having dinner. There's not a lot going on at this time, but if there is, the vendors should just find an appropriate time to sneak away and eat their meal. Keep in mind, we do not expect to have a full-on sit-down dinner with your other guests. We actually usually like to find a quiet room to sit down in and relax for a few minutes to get out of the guest view. Well guys, thanks for tuning in to my very first YouTube video, and check back next week for more.